like even like round 2 and round 3, and he just consistently lost these games that he was sticking in. Like that one game on Echo that he played against Life, he was just going toe-to-toe with one of the best Zergs in the world.
Yeah.
And, you know, eventually he just lost. He just kind of couldn't handle it once it got too late. But he was going toe-to-toe. He's definitely still got the skills. But
for sure. I feel like KeeN in general is a player that has the mentality to win a game where he's behind. He has a mentality to win a game where he's ahead or even. He has so many different builds he can use. He's a great player for Pro League versus individual leagues because he's really great at best-of-1 type games. But I feel like his momentum has been taken away from him. He's on a team that's slumping. He has no morale. Like he has this mental fortitude. I feel like he can bounce back, but it's just so hard right now because the hole he's trying to bounce back out of is getting deeper and deeper. I think he's on a 3-game losing streak. We'll take a look at his overall record in just a moment, but it's really weak. I mean, when he was on MVP, he was winning, I'd say, about almost half of his games that he was playing, which is pretty decent for any pro, actually, in Pro League. But the KeeN that we're seeing on Prime looks like a broken man. It's just not the KeeN we've come to love.
Him and Yoda, man, these two sad Terrans right now. Just, I don't know. I think it definitely has a lot to do with the team environment, as you said, especially with Yoda. He was like the one guy who was actually winning. Even Creator was losing in the beginning of round 1, and Yoda was just like, well, you know, team house environment is terrible. I'm the only one that's winning. Nobody cares. We can't win a game of Pro League anyway.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't matter.
I have to actually
which is the worst feeling.
Right. I have to like for those of you who are new to StarCraft 2, you start watching maybe in the post-Kespa era, right? Before if you start watching after like Wings of Liberty ended, after MVP and ST stepped down as the king and king of StarCraft 2 with their 4 titles. Yeah. Like a bipartisan sort of thing. We had KeeN, okay? So KeeN was one of these players. If you want to compare him to contemporary StarCraft 2, he's like one slight step above Byung, one big step above TY. Like, he was that kind of player. Like, it's like this guy is favored in most of his matchups. When you see this guy comes out, he's scary. He could be the ace. You never really know what you're going to see. Same with Yoda. And now he's fallen so far. I like that hairstyle, though.
Yeah? You like it? I was going to ask you, actually. Rogue going with the same hairstyle, but he's still got the same great song. I was actually listening to this yesterday. 13-6 was known as being the Pro League sniper because he seemed to fail consistently in individual leagues, not get too far along. Kind of these big series when he gets behind, just couldn't hold it together. But in Pro League, he would come out every single day, and he was on a big streak there around round 2, round 3, and along with a bunch of his other big hitters on JIN, not doing so good in the beginning of round 4.
But now his win rate is insane. He isn't up there at the very top, but he's like 13-7. That's really, really impressive of a win rate.
For sure. Well, getting into game number 2 here, KeeN versus Rogue on Echo. Let's jump into it right now. Down here in the bottom right in the purple for Prime. Another Terran player here. It is KeeN.
And up to the top left in green for JIN, currently up 1-0. It's Rogue. Obviously nicknamed Log in the Twitch chat. He's used many names. Savage, Climax. Now sticking with Rogue, I think the best
Savage
idea.
Climax.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Savage.
He's a sexy boy, and he wants you to go straight and turn right, which is what his pin is based off of.
Yes. Came from Gwangju, coming up here.
On the night train, the midnight train going anywhere, but it came to the Nexon Arena.
Oh.
Somehow it ended up here. He's like, I don't know where I am, but I'm going to make this sign anyway. Midnight train brought me here.
He's just a small-town boy living in a lonely world.
He is, actually. Down there in Gwangju. It's kind of funny.
He's no doubt a Prime fan. He's not going to stop believing.
Wow.
He's holding on to that feeling, Valdez.
Yeah. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Now, I want to ask you a question. Do you think KeeN's going to go mech on this map?
No, because KeeN almost never goes mech.
Yeah.
He's a bio player through and through. I'm actually surprised to see him go CC first on this map, though.
I was when I was looking at the predictions, I'm like, it's Echo TVZ, you know, and immediately I'm like, okay, who's the Terran? Oh, it's KeeN. Well, he's not going to go mech. Unless he's been practicing his mech style with the recent resurgence of these mech plays from Innovation on maps such as Echo or Terraform.
Yeah. Coda seen it a few
but
times.
I don't think he's that kind of player.
The CC first is suspicious because it does kind of, it slows down pressure, and KeeN is all about early aggression, early pressure. Rogue will respond to this with a double hatch before pool. So that's a worthwhile scout, 100% there for him here.
Yeah, great scout. Even delayed that CC a bit, so it was just annoying for some SCVs to be pulled.
We saw 2 mech players lose recently. A lot of people are saying that mech is really strong right now. I noticed when I was streaming yesterday, I had like a ton of people in my chat asking me about that. Wolf, do you think mech's too strong?
What about mech?
Oh, Koreans say, are the Koreans saying mech is too strong? No, not really. It's just more viable. And
It's just innovation, actually, I feel. We saw Bravo in reality come out and just get bopped by 2 Zergs that were just straight up better than them, is what I felt. The maps weren't as ideal. They did it on Iron Fortress and Coda, which are not Echo and Terraform. Funny how that works. So I would love to see more players try to do it on these 2 maps and see if they can try to abuse it, because mech, especially on this map, like the 4th base, you can't get in there. It's just not happening. Like
no.
So.
Let's see if he takes a fast 3rd CC after this, because that would possibly be the most un-KeeN-like thing we've ever seen. Because he hasn't taken a 2nd gas. Okay, he's doing it just now as I say that. This is the timing
He's
for
like,
it.
oh, sorry.
I was a bit late on that.
Yeah.
Now, you were a little bit late, but it's fine.
It's okay, KeeN.
So, perhaps Banshee, and he is doing a good job of delaying, or not delaying, but denying the Overlord scouts so far.
Yeah. Rogue going pretty greedy back at home, only taking his gases now, getting out a lot of queens, trying to get that creep out very early. Took his 3 bases very early as well with that scout, as you were mentioning. Going to be in a pretty good place coming into the mid-game here, as long as he doesn't take too much damage from the harass from KeeN.
Cooling tower is going to go down here. It's going to make it a lot more difficult to actually Hellion harass. It's one of the things you can do when your opponent goes CC first. The Hellions are so late that you can get that cooling tower easy with just 4 lings. You're able to clear that up, slow down that pressure. Good scout here on the starport.
Oh, he's even going to save the Overlord. Really nice.
Didn't see the tech lab, but saw that Barracks was building something, so pretty reasonable to assume that it was a tech lab. But you can see the Barracks is actually adding something. You just couldn't see what the add-on was. So.
Ooh, and he's not going to switch it just yet. He's going to make a medevac first.
Perhaps just a fast sim with this.
Yep.
Okay, starting to look more like KeeN. That's the KeeN I know. Hellions and aggression. That's what it's all about.
Hellions, Widowmine drop possibly here. And the first 2 Hellions going to come over here. See the rocks have been knocked down. That cooling tower. Only now is the creep really getting in the middle there, but he does already have his queens in position, so Hellions not going to find much. Going to have to wait a little bit later to get any kind of harass done here for KeeN.
No. This Overlord's actually going to get sacked to see if he's going Banshees or not. I don't think he actually got to see.
Yeah, that Overlord was very weak. I don't believe
so. No vision on the starport. He didn't even have vision of it finishing, so he has no idea.
Well, he's going to put down 2 safe spores regardless. See how much he can defend against this. And it is, a very similar build to the last one. Actually, that Widowmine drop, Hellions in the front.
Yep. 3rd gas being taken here. 4 Barracks, though, obviously with the stem. Just going to be for those upgrades, it looks like. Perhaps a heavy Marauder style.
Drop coming in now, but already units in position. Spore Crawler as well.
Yeah, this is going to get shut down hard. He'd better not even unload those. Yeah. Get out of there.
He could have tried like Yoda, but probably would have met about the same fate. And
Rogue just in a good spot here. I mean, he shut down all the aggression. He's got to look at the upgrade difference between the check game we just watched. Staying even with upgrades, in fact, ahead, arguably, because he's getting both at the same time. Look at his splits against the Widowmines. Ooh, that one wasn't the best.
Ooh. Yeah, he was trying to split those 2 lings above the first Widowmine there, but They actually both got hit, so the second one got to hit the drones.
But he's got free reign to spread his creep, so that means he can actually drone while he's getting upgrades, while he's getting his lair. So he can start bailing speed in just a second. He could probably even get a Spire first, to be totally honest. That's how comfortable he should probably feel right now. And Spire's going up first. He knows that KeeN isn't moving out to be aggressive because he committed a lot to this early drop that did nothing. So his barracks are late, his parade push, his aggression on the ground is late. A lot of overlords going down here, actually, though, to this Viking.
Yeah, the Colt Viking getting those kills. Already up to 2, going to get 3. Not pulling back the overlords in time was Rogue. Can happen, though. 3 is, it's not bad. He still has that one actually behind the third base, so he did see the exact timing of that coming down. Knew it wasn't any kind of weird 2-base follow-up. Knew that KeeN was transitioning as well. So, as you said, total freedom given to Rogue here.
He also saw, and this is really important that you point this out, he also saw that the command center being like built on the low ground, which means that KeeN is definitely not even considering aggression. So, see a big cancel on all those tumors as this attack comes in. This is going to be KeeN's first move onto the creep. Bailing speed is not done yet, but 1-1 is nearly done, and KeeN only has a +1 attack.
And it's going to take a while, you know, with all this creep that has been spread by those early creep queens, getting it out super early. Rogue's great start is just going to help him against any kind of push. Like, you see KeeN goes on the creep there, and he's like, well, can't really do much. Rogue is buying so much time for that later bailing speed to come down, and he's going to have a bunch of bailings as well.
Notice the creep spread style here for Rogue, how it differs, how it's better than what we saw from Czech. It's just simply thickness isn't as important as the actual coverage that you get. He covers all directions, all sides of the ramp. There's no moment where KeeN can scan and go, oh, this is the best way to attack here. I was going to see this fourth base is completed, but not saturated.
Yeah, it may trigger him to try to punish that or at least do some damage.
Makes him feel a little bit less concerned about it at the same time, because at least it's not like, okay, I have to do something about this right now. It's been up for a while. It's like, oh, okay, I need to do something about this soon. This is not an immediate, huge concern. Okay, these Hellions are going to get caught here, but it's going to give this Bio a big time to spread. He's got a ton of Marines up there with just +1 attack.
Up the ramp there, Rogue not able to see it. But another nice scan going to come down here, clean up all the creep outside that fourth base, and he should be able to get his Widow Mines into a pretty good position.
Oh, the Widow Mines need to get hits off, and they don't really. And that's a ton more bailings about the morph. Let's see if Rogue has them in time. Okay.
Let's see the splits. The splits are really nice here, but I just don't think he's got enough bio, not enough stuff back here. He only had 1 Widow Mine.
Yeah.
Not really enough.
Yeah, that was just on creep, way too many speed banes. So he's going to kill the entire ground army here. In fact, the medevacs are a bit vulnerable. Oh, look at that, drawing the Widow Mine hit into those Marines. So many mutas here.
Oh, that Widow Mine, oh boy, just recharged, but not able to get that hit off.
2-2 upgrades massively ahead here for Rogue. He just needs to hold on to his bases. If he can hold on to this fourth base for just a little bit longer, the Mutalisk count is starting to get out of control. He already has 7 on the map. 6 more about to pop out. They'll put him at 13. He's triggering these Widow Mines preemptively really well. Look at that. Sends even 1 more Zergling to trigger this so he can actually push this back and chase with his Mutalisk.
KeeN can't let that happen. He's got to have his Marines around, and he knows it. He's got to back off. And meanwhile, Rogue just sitting on 80 drones, 4 bases, fantastic economy, really great creep. And as you said, the upgrade lead, there's probably not one single place that Rogue is behind him right now.
Yeah. I mean, quite literally, he's replaced the creep, some of it in the middle of the map that was killed earlier. So his creep is still being pushed across the map. This is his weakest point in creep. It's the least important point on the map right now because he's not taking a 5th anytime soon as he is dealing with this pressure. But, you know, he's poised to replace the creep in the middle, continue pushing that. He's already replaced the creep on the left side of the map. Changelings being dropped.
The activeness of these mutas, too. Shutting down the drop before it even gets close to the base of Rogue. Like, those Widow Mines never even have a chance to get burrowed at all. Look at this.
Yeah, look at this. Way out of position KeeN is.
Supply depot down here. He's going to pull the entire army back. Rogue just buying more and more time here.
Oh, God. KeeN is just falling apart here, man. He didn't raise the depot to his main base. He had so much time to do so. Speedlings are killing SCVs in high quantity. This should never be happening at this stage of the game, even if your army's out of position. You got to raise those depots, mineral lock them away, and send your army back. It should not be this slow. It should not be this late. You should never have lings in your main base, your natural, and your third base. Like, when you have walls up, that should never happen.
Yeah, there should have at least have been some kind of bunker set up or some kind of Sim City at the third base. Also, as you said, supply depots just not being raised, causing havoc in the main and the natural. what we're seeing here is KeeN just kind of falling apart to one of these really fantastic best-of-1 macro Zergs and Rogue. And Rogue is just playing it so well. He was given all the freedom in the world very early on in the game, and he's going to run away with this one, man.
With nearly 80 drones, in fact, soon to be 83, he doesn't even need a 5th base. Like, he could take one fairly soon if he wants to, but I think he just wants to keep taking engagements because the creep spread is still decent. He can reinforce units quickly. After he takes one more fight, he'll probably take that 5th. But look how many Lings and Banelings he's able to afford. He's hitting all of his injects. There's constant streams of reinforcements. Now, KeeN is about to hit 2-2, which will finally put him up even up on upgrades. He actually starts a +3 attack as well. So that's something he's got for taking these engagements, but he's constantly being outmaneuvered by these Mutalisks.
There's no turret here in the natural. He either had one and it got killed and he never remade it, or he just never made one at all. And
I think it might be the latter on that one. I think you're right.
Yeah. You know, maybe just forgetting it in the heat of the moment. Look at how many Banelings are rolling.
Oh my God. Well, that is a game changer. And now with 2-2 upgrades, he can end a second incredible Widowmine hit.
Unbelievable. Widowmines winning that fight there for KeeN. I think Rogue is just saying, okay, get out of my game. Like, I am just so far ahead. But, you know, overconfident moves can definitely get KeeN straight back into this game. Widowmines are very powerful if you group up your units.
He still has 20 Banelings left over, and he made 62 Lings instantly remax using all of his larvae. And still KeeN cannot deal with these Mutalisks. Those Marines are all in the red. They stim too many times. He can actually kill them, kill the medevacs, force these units to retreat. If he actually has one ace these medevacs back, like I'm watching him do right now, the guy's just going to lose so many.
The Widowmine hits in this game are so good, but it just doesn't matter. It's the saddest thing.
If he was paying more attention to his Mutalisks in that fight as well, he could have gotten like 4 medevacs for free. Unfortunately, wasn't. He's going to get this Viking for free, though, and just retreat. I mean, this has depleted the larva quite significantly for Rogue. He's got so many hatcheries. He has that macro hatch. He's now taking a 5th base.
Yeah, he's making 2 hatcheries at a time now. I think he's beginning to realize he's just like, oh, okay, I'm just going to take every base on the map.
He's like, oh no, all my Banelings. I'll just remake them instantly.
Those Widowmines have not been cleaned up.
Yeah, it could be a massive hit on these Lings.
We'll see if more hits come down.
Units lost right now, 15,000 to 10,000. Obviously, Rogue with the 15,000 lost.
It's just like the economy has been more than twice as good for Rogue, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Okay, he's finally made a turret here.
Yep.
Going to help out with the defense a bit.
KeeN is trying to take the 4th base now. And he's actually taking a pretty good engagement here. He does have +3 nearly finished. He's going to kill that hatch without a cancel. But too many Mutalisks here, and a retreat with the medevacs is going to be difficult. Kills the full medevac there as well.
Yeah. KeeN has been doing something weird in this game as well. He made 2 engineering bays. Maybe one went down, but he's been slowly upgrading only 1 upgrade at a time. Got the +2 attack and then armor.
Yeah.
And now getting the +3 attack and hasn't begun armor yet.
He's had the ability to afford it as well, and he does still have both E-bays. I just checked, so it's I guess he's just kind of messing up a little bit, or is in the heat of the moment trying to bait these Lings until that Widowmine does get it off. That Widowmine has 20 kills currently. Well, he survives, you know, he holds a 4th base, but I just feel like he's struggling so much to put any dents into Rogue.
Yeah. I mean, Rogue has secured both of those bases he was trying to take. And he's got the other base here creeped up for KeeN. KeeN gets the planetary, of course, is going to extend it unless Rogue can like end it before it really gets up where he's got a great defense. But Rogue seems to be transitioning out of this kind of you know, lower tech style that that Zerg's used from time to time, this heavy Baneling style, not getting those 3-3 upgrades, no hive. But we do see the infestation pick come down, so maybe thinking about that transition.
Oh god, the splits here are just non-existent. Way too many good Baneling hits here, and actually looks like they may continue. There's not a lot of room to split in this choke point. He's actually getting flanked here with this many Banelings. Looks like True in the booth right now.
Yeah.
Just gets pushed back. Again, the medevacs on the retreat, but nothing underneath them. And a planetary here with no turrets can either be killed by Mutalisks or Banelings. He's got the choice.
Yeah, he's coming in, kills every single SCV. Planetary goes down, and he's just kind of back off. He's like, oh, I better save these Banelings. Oh, the Burrow Banelings. Oh! This game has been so fun, but yet so one-sided at the same time.
He went down from like 150 supply to 80 supply in about 3 seconds there.
Yeah,
that was pretty nasty. Now he's going to lose the remainder of his economy here at the natural. Not even enough Marines to push this back. Only the Thor is threatening. I feel like it could have probably magic boxed that. The Mutalisks have +2. They're about to have +1 armor. Just playing it safe. if eventually KeeN runs out of money, then he just wins anyways. So 28 bans on the way. GG, just GG's out.
Yeah. He's like, I can't take any more of this beating. Rogue doing a very nice job there, taking down KeeN. He was the heavy favorite, but he does his job. Very nice, entertaining fashion there.
Those baneling explosions, man.
Yeah. I would almost believe it if he was like, oh, just rolling them in on purpose, you know?
Yeah.
Just doing it for the show.
Just too much damage there. And actually, you know, you were talking about how he was trying to transition out of that Ling Meter baneling into actual, like, high-tech, the infestation pit and stuff. By rights, he should have won that game a long time ago, but he lost, like, 30 banelings at a time.
I mean, he was engaging off-creep into Widow Mines with all of his banelings clumped up, like, not triggering them at all. He's just like, okay, I've got so much stuff, I'm showing it to you, get out of my game, but KeeN tried to stick it through. Props to him. And, you know, like I said before, I think Rogue just miles ahead of where KeeN is right now, so very heavy favorite in that game.
KeeN not easily gets sold by Boom Boom there in the booth. Yeah. Put that mouse bungee away.
It's just so sad when I look at the faces of KeeN and Yoda especially. They just look both so dead inside, as you said.
Well, I mean, if you look at Creator, he never looked that way. He looked upset, but he didn't have this look of melancholy, this look of like, what am I doing with my life?
The fight was still in his eyes, and he really, really cared when he lost. He was so upset at times, even in just straight-up games that he got defeated by one of the best turns in the world, Mario. He would still, you know, cry and get really upset. But Yoda and KeeN, they just go in there with a blank face, and they come out with a blank face, just looking so sad. But guys, we're going to take a 3-minute break. We'll get to game number 3 after this.